Hello learners, welcome to this video lesson. Today we are going to discuss one of the very pertinent topic of your online course. The title of the topic is Meaning, Nature and Organization of Data, and we are going through our online course. Course code is BES 127 and the course title is Assessment for Learning. Before our discussion, let me to introduce myself. I, Dr. Niradhar, faculty member, School of Education, Indira Gandhi National Open University, and your course coordinator. I welcome you all to this video lesson. As you know, presently we are in the 12th week of our online course, and we are studying the 12th module. The title of the module is Tabulation and Graphical Presentation of Data. Friends, in this module you will find, apart from the e-content quiz questions, you will find 3 video lessons. First is Meaning, Nature and Organization of Data. Second video lesson is Graphical Representation of Data, and the third video lesson is Scales of Measurement. Now let us focus upon our first video lesson, first title, that is Meaning, Nature and Organization of Data. Before starting our discussion, let me to focus upon some of the learning outcomes of this video lesson. After going through the part E content of this module, of the 12th module, and particularly after going through this video lesson, you will be able to describe the term statistics and its use in assessing and evaluating children's performance. You will be able to state the meaning and nature of data. You will be able to explain the importance of data organization. Further, you will also able to present data in frequency distribution tables, and you will be able to compare various methods of representing data. So friends, now focus upon our topic, that is the data presentation, and to understand about the concept of data and how to represent it in a frequency distribution table. First of all, I will start my discussion, that is to understand a raw score, which is also called as an individual score. Raw score is also called as individual score. As example, you see like achievement of students in mathematics in class 9th, okay, achievement of students in mathematics, or you can also take example of any other subject. It may be achievement of students in the subject of social science, in the subject of science, in any class. Being a teacher, you are engaged with teaching. At the same time, you are also engaged with assessing the performance of the learners, okay. And what you are doing, you are just developing, preparing certain tests, and you are administering that test. You are taking that test upon the group of learners to whom you are teaching, and after getting the response of the learners, you are evaluating it, and you are getting certain score. Just like here, particularly in this example, achievement of students in mathematics in class 9, let score of 10 students in mathematics of class 9th are as like 49 is one score, 52 is another, 65 another student scored 65, then 90, 57, 85, 71, then 38, 66 and 30. So these are the 10 different scores. And we can say that these 10 scores are just the raw score, or these are the individual score. And if I will ask you a question, what is the meaning of these scores? How can you define these scores? Because here you are not going to use any statistics, or you are not able to analyze, because only raw score is given. Simply you can say that let 49 is one score, 49 is an individual score. You can say that 49 is just like, if the score will start from 0, so it means 0 plus 49. or 49 is a score, you can say that in descending order, if you start from 100, then 100 minus 51 is 49. So friends, to understand about raw score, we can say that raw score is having very limited meaning or no meaning at all. So that's why raw score is the first step so far as data analysis and interpretation is concerned. Taking the raw score further by using different statistics, when you will employ the statistics, when you will analyze it, then certain new meaning, certain more meaning can be emerged from the raw score. But only focusing upon the raw score, only you have the raw score, then it's difficult to emerge many meaning from that raw score. Now, further to understand about the concept of statistics, I can say that the most mathematical process of collecting, analyzing and interpreting the data are termed statistics. So, here what I was talking earlier, individual score is having very limited meaning or no meaning at all. But if we have the group score, if we know the score of the group, the score of the entire students of the group, then what we can do, we can administer a test, we can evaluate their responses, we can collect data, further we can organize data, then we can analyze the group data, and further we can interpret it. We can interpret the data by using different statistics, just like what is the mean score of the group, what is the standard deviation of the group, and at the same time we can also arrange the scores either in ascending order or in descending order. And we can also use the percentage, how many how many percentage of students scored more than 90%, or how many percentage of the students scored above average or below average. So we can interpret the score in different ways. So this is the statistics. That means when we use certain statistical technique for collecting, organizing, analyzing and interpreting data for getting more and more meaning from the group score. Okay. So we use certain statistical technique here, and further we can say that the word statistics is derived from the Latin word status, Italian word that is statista, German word that is statistic, and French word that is statique, which all means a political state. That means it may be contextual to Latin, to Italian language, to German or French language. You see, they were using the concept of statistics just to analyze certain fact and to successfully administer the state, or successfully you can say administer the country. Okay, so to come out with a new policy, to come out with a new scheme after analyzing the data, that who are the you can say who should be the beneficiary of certain scheme. It may be relating to different parameters of social living, of economic living, at the same time demography of the people. So that's why in Latin, in Italian, German and French, they use this term. That's a type of providing state or country administration. Okay, so the origin of the term is like this. The concept of this term is like this. And further, we use statistics in educational analysis, in educational data analysis. Just like here you see, I have already discussed about the raw score, the individual score. Okay, that has very little meaning or no meaning at all. But raw scores of children are converted to standard score to formulate inferences. So here we use certain statistics. That means we convert raw score into standard score. So from raw score to standard scores means many a time we use certain statistics to find out the average score, to find out the standard deviation. At the same time, Z score, you can say Z score is called as the normalized standard score. Okay, T score is normalized standard score and Z score is a standard score. So if we convert by using the formula x minus m by st. M is the mean score, x is the individual score, that's the raw score, divided by the standard deviation. And if we convert the raw score to standard score, then we can formulate certain inferences about the group score, about the group data. Okay, and accordingly we can interpret. And further, in educational analysis, in educational data analysis, we also use statistics just like mean, median, and mode. Okay, to find out the average observations. Mean is called as the most accurate measures of central tendency, and median is the midpoint of the distribution below and above which 50% of the cases lie, and mode is the most common frequency of the series. So here, when we analyze the data, analyze educational data, it may be in terms of achievement of the students, we use these statistics to find out the average observations, average scores of the group. And to find out mean, median, and mode is only possible when we have the group data. It is not only possible if you have only the individual data. If we know the score of each and every individual of the group, each and every students of this group, then we can find out the average observation. And further, we can also use statistics in educational data analysis, just like we calculate the range, quartile deviation, average deviation, and standard deviation. And these statistics, it may be range, quartile deviation, average deviation, and standard deviation. These are called the measures of variability or measures of dispersion. And we use these statistics to find out the extent of variation from the mean scores of the observation. That means, what is the variation of an individual score from a mean score, and what is the range of the total variation. Then accordingly, variation of individual score, first individual score to mean, then second individual scores to mean, then accordingly after getting the deviation of each score from the mean, we can find out the standard deviation. So this is something you can say this is a further step of data analysis so far as average observation is concerned. Then we can also use the other statistics in educational analysis, just like normal probability curve, and it helps us to understand the nature of a particular group of students, whether the group of students to whom you are teaching, whether they are normally distributed or their achievement or their performance is skewed. Okay, so to find out the abilities of the learner, whether the ability of the groups are normally distributed, you can also use the criteria or the characteristics of a normal probability curve, and you can also use the formulas of the normal probability curve. Further, in subsequent units, we will be discussing all the statistics that I am saying: mean, median, and mode, range, average deviation, quartile deviation, and standard deviation, and for the normal probability curve. But all such statistics we use for analyzing educational data and to provide certain meaning to educational data. And further, we can also use the statistics like correlation, and that helps to find out the relationship between the groups with regard to certain variables. So here, if you want to know the relationship between two groups so far as a certain variable is concerned, just like if I'll take the example of achievement, and we have two groups are there, one group is the boys and other groups are the girls, and we can find out the correlation between boys and girls so far as achievement variable is concerned. Okay, so whether the relationship or the correlation coefficient is positive or it is negative, we can find out by using different methods of correlation. It may be Spearman method or Pearson method or product moment method or other types of correlation methods also. And for the analysis of variance and t-test, it can also be used that helps the teacher to compare performance of the students and critical ratio between means and test the significance of difference. So many a time certain difference that we observe let the mean score of first group is 50 and the mean score of the second group is 55. So here there is a difference of 5 score, but whether the difference of the 5 score is a significant difference or this is just like a simple difference. For knowing the significance difference between the mean scores of two groups, we can use t-test or we can use analysis of variance also. When groups are many, just like let many groups are there among the students, let in 5 different sections. Okay, so how to do it? We use t-test to find out significance difference between only 2 groups, and to find out significance difference between more than 2 groups, let group 1 to group 2, group 2 to group 3, group 1 to group 3. So by using analysis of variance, that's called as ANOVA, we can also in a single application, in a single trial, we can find out, we can solve or we can find out the difference between many groups. So friends, I am just telling you the concept of certain statistics that we use in educational analysis for analyzing data, and further in our further units we will be discussing in the further modules we will be discussing in detail about and how to calculate, how to use normal probability curve, correlation, t-test, measures of central tendency, at the same time measures of variability. And being a teacher, you must have realized the usefulness of statistics so far as teaching learning process and assessment is concerned, because this is one of the integrated work. Being a teacher, you are doing it for your students. You are teaching, at the same time you are also assessing the abilities of the learners. You are also preparing their report card. So here usefulness of statistics for the teachers is just like it helps teachers to analyze and interpret the score, to analyze the average score, to find out the average score, to order the score either in ascending or descending order, to calculate the variability, to calculate the variations of an individual score from the group score, to find out significance difference between 2 groups, mean scores of 2 groups, and other types of to find out correlation between 2 groups also. And further, it helps to compare scores and abilities of the students within and among the groups. So many a time, let in a section you are teaching 40 students. So what you are doing, you are just using certain statistics and you are analyzing the data to find out the mean score and to analyze the data, to interpret the data within that group to whom you are dealing. And many a time, you are also using statistics for analyzing, for comparing scores and abilities of the students among the groups. Let in a class 4 sections are there. So what you are doing, you are just comparing scores of section A with section B, mean score of section A with mean score of section B, then section C, section D accordingly. And many a time what you are doing, you are also analyzing result of the students of let 2018 school board with 2019 school board, with 2020 school board, with 2021 school board. So accordingly, you can also compare the scores of the students, at the same time abilities of the learners. Then it helps teachers to construct standardized achievement tests. So many a time I have already discussed in this online course when I was talking about a teacher made or a self-made tool and a standardized tool. So friends, when the teacher prepares a standardized tool, what he does, he develop a tool, at the same time he administered that tool and find out the reliability and validity. It means, and norm also, it means teacher engage himself or herself for analyzing the item, analyzing the question, that's called as item analysis. So for analyzing the item, which is a part of test standardization or test construction, you will find that the teacher will be using the concept of statistics, and further it helps to determine individual differences among children. So every individual is different so far as their attributes are concerned, so far as their abilities are concerned. So by using statistics, we can find out the individual differences, who is doing well in science, who is doing well in different language subjects, and who is doing well in mathematics and social science. And this is only possible when we analyze and interpret the data. and further it helps for counseling and guidance to the students. So teacher can provide better counseling and guidance to the students if teacher knows the score of the learners, the achievement level of the learners, and continuously whether the learner is improving or not, achieving the mastery or not. And further, it helps teachers to predict future performance of the students, of the learners. So, keeping in consideration of the performance of the learners, continuous development of the learners, teacher can just predict that yes, the particular student is doing well from last 2 years, he or she is doing well in every terminal examination, half yearly examination, as well as in different formative assessment. Then keeping in consideration of the continuum and the continuous good performance of the learner, teacher can predict it, and further it helps teachers for selection, categorization and promotion of students, to promote from one class to another class, to select students for a specific purpose, and to categorize students, to make a group of students for doing certain activity. Teacher can also use you can say take the help of statistics, and it helps for conducting educational research. So friends, when after your B.Ed, after your graduation, when you enter in master and PhD, you will realize that so far as for conducting educational research, you will be using the concept and application of statistics. Further, to understand about data, because it starts from the raw data. It starts from the data. Just like here, data is the plural form of the word datum, which means fact. So data means here it's a fact. It may be a demographic fact. It may be achievement related fact. It may be a attribute related fact of the learner. It may be related with the physical abilities or the mental abilities. And further, we can say evidence or fact which describes individual, group or a situation. So the fact or the data that describes about an individual, about the abilities of an individual, about the attribute of an individual or a group, just like mean score, standard deviation score, and many a time upon a situation also, your idea, your attitude towards a situation, and from which conclusion is drawn. So this is called as the data. It is related with, it may be data relating to individual, data relating to a group, or data relating to any situation. As example, I have already said that academic achievement of the students, demographic data of any population, just like rural, urban, the rural phenomena, urban phenomena, boys, girls, okay, so gender phenomena, and further measures of attributes of students and the teachers, then occupational, economic, social and educational data of any individual or group. It includes occupational data, economic data, social data, at the same time educational data. So this is the concept of data. And for the raw or the discrete and group data, I have already discussed that what is raw data and what is discrete data and what is group data. Raw data is also called as individual data. Individual data expressed in terms of some quantity. It is also called as the raw data, just like scores of the students in a subject or a demographic data. Last slides we have discussed. Then for the raw data has very limited meaning. I have already said that you cannot give more meaning to raw data. It has very limited meaning or no meaning at all. Then for the group data, it means if you know the raw data of the entire groups, then by using certain statistics, you can analyze the raw data. And when you will analyze the raw data and interpret in different ways, just like the mean score, average score, standard deviation score, then you can say that that is the group data. So group data is the converted form of raw data by using some statistics such as percentage, average score, variability, correlation, measures of differences, and many other, by using many other statistics, we can also do this. Further, after understanding the raw data or the discrete data or the individual data and the group data, now let us understand how to organize raw data to provide certain meaning and to prepare a frequency distribution table. Here you see as an example, just like marks of English of 30 students. So here raw data, 30 raw data is given, and that is the achievement score of 30 students in the subject of English, just like 2, 22, 31, 24, 15, 48, accordingly 25, 30. So n is 30. So here total number of scores are 30. So how we can organize this data to give certain more meaning by using certain statistics? Let us go forward. Here you see these are some of the steps that we can follow for data organization, for organizing data to make a frequency distribution table. Okay. So you see here 7 steps are given. First is determining the range of the distribution. Then size of the class interval. So Ci is here class interval. What is the size of the class interval? Then writing the content of the data. Then writing class interval. Then further putting the tallies. You have to make the tally marks. We will discuss that what is the tally mark. Then totaling the tallies. So you have to add, you have to totaling the tallies, how many tallies are there. Then checking of number of frequencies. Then you have to add that how many frequencies are there. So this is the process. This is the 7-step process. By using this process, you can organize the data and you can prepare a frequency distribution table. Let us go forward to find out and to understand that how you can prepare a frequency distribution table by using these 7 steps. Here you see the first step is determining the range. So range is the difference between highest and lowest score in the set of data. So it is difference between the highest and the lowest score. Okay. Just like here in the above case, earlier here you see 30 scores are there. 48 is the highest score and 2 is the lowest score. Using this distribution, here you see in the above case 48 is the highest score and 2 is the lowest score. So what will be the range? The formula for range is, it is the difference between highest and the lowest score, just like highest score minus lowest score. Highest score is 48 and lowest score is 2. So 48 minus 2 is 46. So here range is 46. So this is the first step for preparing a frequency distribution table for organizing the data. First of all, you have to determine, you have to identify, you have to calculate the range of the score. So only you have to analyze, you have to observe the score of the group, then you have to find out what is the highest score and what is the lowest score, and you have to make the difference of it, highest score minus lowest score. So here 48 minus 2, that is 46 is the range. And further, the second step is size of the class interval. So friends, you have to prepare a frequency distribution table. So that's why you have to decide that what will be the size of the class. A class is just like an interval. Okay, and what will be the interval? Whether interval of the class will be 5 or interval of the class will be 10, it is up to you. Just like here, to determine the size of the class interval, the formula that you can use, size of the class interval is range upon interval of the class. Okay, so range we have already discussed. In the present example, range is here 46. So what you have to do, you have to divide 46 with the interval of the class. Interval of the class you have to decide. Just like in this case, let interval of the class is 10. So you can also make it 5, but let as an example, the size of the class let 10. Okay, so that's why how many classes will be there to get the total number of the classes. Here 46 is the range and 10 is the size of the class. So 46 divided by 10 is 4.6. So 4.6 is in decimal term. So that's why you have to make it round off. So that means 5. 4.6, that is, it is more than 0.5. 4.5 means it is more than 0.5. So that's why 0.6 is more than 0.5. So that's why total 5 classes will be there. So you have to make it round up. Then the third step is writing content of frequency distribution. It is sure that the frequency distribution is made out contents and the same being written in 3 columns as shown below. Just like the 3 columns are, first is class interval, and second is tallies, and the third is frequency. So here first you have to write the class interval, second is the tallies, and the third is the frequency. Further we will discuss that how to write the class interval, then how to make the tallies, and third is how to write the frequencies. Let us go forward. Writing the class interval is the fourth step. So here you see the lowest score is 2 and highest score is 48. Size of the class is 10. We have already decided, and total classes will be here 5 because we have already divided 46 is the range and divided by size of the class is 10. 46 by 10 is 4.6, and that is 5. Round off is the 5. So here 5 classes are, as the lowest score is 2, we can start from 1. 1 to 10 is the first class interval, 11 to 20 is the second, 21 to 30 is the third, 31 to 40 is the fourth, and 41 to 50 is the fifth. So accordingly, fifth classes, that means our lowest score will come in the first class interval, and the highest score 48 will come in the last class interval. I have arranged it in ascending order. You can also make it in descending order. At the fifth step is putting the tallies. Just like what you have to do here, we have already decided the classes 1 to 10, 11 to 20, 21 to 30, 31 to 40, and 41 to 50. What you have to do, already 30 individual scores are with you. So you have to just go through one score, that how many scores are between 1 and 10. And here you have to make the tally marks. That's called as the tally mark. Just like here you see 3 lines, I have put 3 tallies. It means 3 scores are there within the class of 1 to 10. Then again in 11 to 20, again 3 scores are there. Then 21 to 30, here you see 4. Then I have crossed in one tally, that's 5. This is 5 and it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. 5 plus 4 is 9. So 9 scores are there in between 21 to 30. Then 31 to 40, here it is 5, then again 5, then 2. 5 plus 5, 10, plus 2, 12. And again from 41 to 50, 3 scores are there. So accordingly, keeping in consideration of the number of scores, total number of the scores in your group, you have already made the class interval, prepared the class interval. Then you have to make the tally mark of each class, that how many scores are there in each class interval. And the further step is the sixth step, that is totaling the tallies. So here you see first column is the class interval, that is the CI. I have already discussed, this is the class interval. Then tallies also we have already discussed. Then here you have to add the tally, just like this is the frequency. In the first class, here you see 3, 1, 2, 3. In second it is 3. In third it is 9. And fourth class 31 to 40 it is 12. And the fifth class it is 3. So you have to just count the tallies and write the frequencies. This is the totaling of the tallies. Then the last step is here, the seventh step is, that is totaling the tallies. Here you see class interval is the first column, then tallies is the second column, frequencies are the third column, and the total you have to add it 3 plus 3 plus 9 plus 12 plus 3. So n is here 30. So this is called as a frequency distribution table. And by using this frequency distribution table, you can use many statistics. You can calculate mean in group data, you can calculate standard deviation, and further you can also calculate other types of statistics, just like average deviation, quartile deviation. You can also find out the median and the mode. You can find out the percentage, and other types of data analysis you can do after preparing the frequency distribution table. So friends, before preparing the frequency distribution table, from raw data to group data you have to convert. Then you have to organize the data by using certain steps. So friends, today in this lesson we discussed about the concept of raw data, the concept of data, then the concept of statistics, then further how to organize data, to prepare a frequency distribution table. We discussed 7 different steps, starting from group score to preparing a frequency distribution table. In our next lesson, we will discuss other aspect of data and its interpretation. For further queries, you can write to me niradhar@ignou.ac.in. You can make me a telephone call. My intercom is 2994. You can visit my Facebook account, my YouTube channel, at the same time my Twitter handle. You will find many such video lessons in education and assessment are there, and I am very much hopeful that all your queries will be solved. Thank you.